Time check! It's English O'Clock! Ang pag-aaral ng English upang madaling matutunan, bakit hindi natin simplihan? Halika! Manood at makinig sa English Teacher ni Juan!
Kung bago ka pa lang sa channel na to, huwag kang matakot. I made learning English easy for you. Please like, comment, and subscribe. At pakishare mo na rin sa iba para marami pang mga Juan na gaya mo ang matuto.
Hello everyone! For today's video, we are going to talk about local color, an essential element in analyzing a story from a sociocultural context. Tara at simulan na natin! The target learning competency for this video is analyze a literary text as expressions of individual or communal values within the socio-cultural context. These are the lesson objectives. Demonstrate factual understanding of the literary concepts of local color and cite parts of an assigned text which show certain socio-cultural values through local color. Just like what I said, local color is an essential element in analyzing a story from a socio-cultural context. In Filipino, tinatawag itong katutubong kulay. Now, let's define local color. Local color in literature refers to the detailed portrayal of the unique characteristics of a specific region, capturing its customs, dialects, landscapes, and social practices. In Filipino literature, local color plays a significant role in shaping narratives that reflect the diverse and rich cultures, traditions, and societal norms of the Philippines. A socio-cultural analysis of local color in Filipino literature can offer a deeper understanding of how authors use their regional settings to highlight Filipino values, social issues, and cultural identity. Here are the key aspects of local color in a socio-cultural analysis using Filipino literature as examples. Number 1. Geography and setting. The physical landscape and environment are often integral to the story, helping readers understand how the land influences the lives of the characters. In Filipino literature, the setting reflects the diversity of archipelago, from the rural farmlands and mountains to the bustling cities. Example, Amado V. Hernandez's Luha ng Buwaya is set in a rural farming village where the physical landscape of rice fields and farmland plays a vital role in the lives of the characters. The story highlights the struggles of tenant farmers against oppressive landlords, using the rural setting as a backdrop to explore themes of social justice and class struggle. The environment not only shapes the characters' livelihoods, but also mirrors their emotional and economic battles. Number 2. Dialect and language. Filipino literature often uses local dialects to add authenticity to the characters' voices, reflecting the multilingual nature of the Philippines. The use of regional languages like Tagalog, Cebuano, Ilocano, and Hiligaynon allows readers to hear the unique rhythms and nuances of speech specific to different Filipino regions. Example, Nick Joaquin's May Day Eve. It employs Spanish-infused Tagalog, reflecting the colonial history of the Philippines. The use of language here captures the cultural and historical complexity of the Spanish era in Manila. Similarly, the mixture of formal Spanish, regional Tagalog, and folklore-rich language adds a layer of local color that brings out the socio-political dynamics of the time. Number 3. Customs, traditions, and social practices. Filipino literature is rich with depictions of local customs and traditions, including festivals, rituals, food, and religious practices. These cultural elements provide insight into the characters' belief systems, values, and everyday lives. Example: N.V.M. Gonzalez's A Season of Grace. It delves into rural Filipino customs, particularly those related to farming and the changing of seasons. It showcases how traditional agricultural practices and communal work are deeply ingrained in the lives of Filipino villagers. These customs help shape the community's identity and emphasize the importance of cooperation, resilience, and family ties in rural Filipino society. Another example is Carlos Bulusan's America is in the Heart, which portrays Filipino immigrants clinging to their customs and traditions while navigating life in America. Their Filipino identity, maintained through cultural practices like communal meals, storytelling, and religious gatherings, stands in contrast to the new social dynamics they encounter abroad. Number 4. Regional characters and social roles. Filipino literature often portrays characters that are closely tied to their regional setting, representing the unique values, attitudes, and ways of life specific to their communities. These characters reflect local traditions, occupations, and family structures, and they are often types that symbolize larger social or cultural forces. Example: Francisco Sionil Jose's Rosales Saga series, including the novel Poon. It presents characters from the rural region of Ilocos who struggle with the changing tides of history, colonization, and land disputes. The characters embody the local color of the Ilocano people with their strong work ethic, deep ties to the land, and complex relationship with colonial and post-colonial power. Their local identity, shaped by the agrarian setting, is integral to the social roles they fulfill. Number 5. Social issues and tensions. Local color in Filipino literature often highlights the specific social, economic, and political tensions within a community. These can include class struggles, racial or ethnic conflicts, or gender roles, all of which are shaped by the region's historical and cultural context. Example: Jose Rizal's Nole Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo use the local color of 19th century Philippine society under Spanish colonial rule to expose issues of social injustice, corruption, and the abuse of power. The setting of small towns and rural communities filled with local customs, Catholic traditions, and native values serves as a backdrop for Rizal's critique of colonial oppression and the entrenched social hierarchies that defined the Philippines at that time. Another example is F. Sionil Jose's The Pretenders, examines the societal divide between the elite and the working class in Manila, focusing on how social stratification influences relationships and power dynamics. The detailed portrayal of Manila's urban landscape with its elite residences and contrasting poverty-stricken areas reflects the socio-economic tensions prevalent in the post-colonial Philippines. Number 6. Cultural symbols and folklore. Filipino literature often incorporates symbols and elements from Filipino folklore and mythology, which are tied to specific regions or local beliefs. These symbols provide insight into the cultural and spiritual worldviews of the characters and their communities. Example: Nick Joaquin's The Summer Solstice. It explores pre-colonial Filipino culture through the tradition of the Tadtarin Festival, a fertility ritual in which women temporarily assume dominance over men. This ritual is a symbol of female empowerment and serves as a form of resistance against the patriarchal norms imposed by Spanish colonization. The local color is evident in the detailed depiction of the festival as well as in the characters' interactions with this uniquely Filipino tradition. Number 7. Colonial and post-colonial context. Many Filipino literary works that incorporate local color also address the lingering effects of colonialism on Filipino culture and identity. The regional setting often serves as a microcosm of the broader historical forces that shaped the country. Example, Carlos Bulosan's My Father Goes to Court reflects the blending of Filipino culture with the colonial influences of the American period. The local setting, a rural Filipino town, provides the backdrop for a humorous story about class conflict and the cleverness of a poor Filipino family. The story's use of local customs and the light-heartedness of the characters highlight the resilience and wit of Filipinos in the face of social inequality and colonial influence. In Filipino literature, local color is a powerful tool for capturing the diversity of regional identities and experiences. Through detailed portrayals of geography, dialect, customs, social roles, and local tensions, authors offer a window into the unique social fabric of various Filipino communities. By examining these elements from a sociocultural perspective, readers can better understand how the complex interplay of history, tradition, and social issues shapes the lives of the characters and the communities they represent. In We Filipinos Are Mild Drinkers, Alejandro R. Roses employs local color to capture the socio-cultural nuances of Filipino identity and drinking culture. Here are a few ways local color functions in this story. Number 1. Cultural identity. Rosas highlights Filipino social norms around drinking, illustrating a cultural identity that contrasts with Western perceptions of drinking habits. The narrative reflects how drinking is integrated into social gatherings, serving as a means of connection and community rather than escapism. Number 2. Language and dialect. The use of colloquial language and expressions enriches the text, making it relatable and authentic. This linguistic choice enhances the cultural authenticity, allowing readers to feel the vibrancy of Filipino social life. Number 3. Customs and traditions. The story delves into Filipino drinking customs such as the practice of barkadahan or friendship groups and the rituals surrounding drinking, like toasting and sharing. These details not only portray social behaviors but also highlight the communal aspect of Filipino culture where relationships are built and reinforced through shared experiences. Number 4. Humor and irony. Roses uses humor to challenge stereotypes about Filipino drinking. By presenting the idea that Filipinos are mild drinkers, he challenges expectations and invites readers to reconsider preconceived notions about cultural practices. This irony serves as a serious observation on how cultures are perceived from the outside. Number 5. Social commentary. Through local color, Roses subtly critiques the implications of colonialism and globalization on Filipino identity. The story reflects a tension between traditional customs and modern influences, prompting readers to consider the impact of cultural exchanges on local practices. Conclusion: in We Filipinos Are Mild Drinkers, local color is essential for understanding the socio-cultural context of the narrative. It enriches the story by providing a lens through which to explore Filipino identity, customs, and the complexities of cultural representation. By appreciating these elements, readers gain deeper insights into the Filipino experience, making the story not just a humorous take on drinking, but a reflection on the broader cultural landscape.